So this is part 3 here of fixing this steering pivoting joint for this old boat motor here. We got a pile of stuff to do here, so let's just get right into it here, starting with some thread repairs. Now I think is probably for one of the worst things I'm gonna do on this project. That is stuck bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I have to get them out, and they're all broken off and nice. That's the problem. Steel and aluminum, when it's put together a long time, well, it kind of corrodes in there, and it's almost like they welded itself together, which is no good. So I don't really know how to get them out, or the only way I think is to probably cut these off flush here, and then just drill them out really, and tap new threads in the hole. Because I don't know if you can heat these up maybe and get them out, I don't know, but I think I'm just gonna cut these off and try to drill it out. I got the head back on, and I kind of cleaned all this up here since the last project of well, drilling all this drilling out that whatever. Yeah, let's see if we can go ahead and get this thing clamped down here. Then is it just to start drilling here. Yeah, I think it's decently secured. For drilling these, well, you could just go, this is not the right size for the final hole. Have that somewhere else, but when you're going in with the right size drill bit to drill out this, especially if you go into steel and steel, you know, the bolt is steel and the housing or whatever is steel, then it maybe doesn't want to wander off. But now when it's aluminium, it's softer than especially the stainless steel bolt is probably pretty hard. Then the drill bit, the drill bit kind of flexes a bit. You can do that, and then it easily want to just dig into the aluminium here. So what I'm going to try to do is start out by using a small drill bit, drill a hole in the middle all the way down, and then go in with a bigger drill bit, the final size, and then I just hope that big drill bit is going to fall over the hole through, or the small hole straight down, and not want to go to the side. The small drill bit will go in, hopefully it will just go straight down because it's going in the same material. It should be in the middle of the bolt. Yeah, I don't know if that made any sense, but whatever. Let's see, I'm gonna start by just trying to find the center here and just making a little, using this to just, because this can't flex, it's stiff, to make a little mark, so the drill bit has some little hole to start, kind of. I think that is okay. I know this is not the right tool, but you make do with what you have, right? It works, kind of. There we go. So, I'm going to drill a 5mm hole. I'm all the way through. Yeah, I think I'm all the way through. So let's just swap drill bits here. Either way, I suppose while I'm here, I can just center it up to the hole. I might as well just tap it, see how it goes at least. And if this doesn't work out, then because then I'm still centered up pretty good, then I can just drill it out a little larger, tap it for a thread repair insert. Let's just get this thing in here and tap this. Let's see what the heck did this turn out as. Well, good. No, these thread is not, that is not good. So we need thread repair inserts. We got some helicoils here and some stainless steel grease fittings. And yeah, because these threads there, it can focus maybe. Nah. They're just not gonna work. So I'm just gonna drill it out with this, tap it with this tap here, and insert one of these helicoils. And then we got some new threads. I removed the drill bit and then I put a different outlet in here with a little, I suppose it is an old end mill that I ground down so it's pointy. So I can get the tap in there and then I put that in the holder and then I can get it, perfectly straight into the hole. So here I clean these threads up a little bit so I can get this tab started in the old threads. So I'm lined up in the old threads. So what I'm going to try to do is to use the 6.5mm drill bit, center that up in there and drill that down and then try to tap out the old threads on the bolt that is left in the hole. And if that doesn't work, which was what I tried to do there, but that didn't work because that just messed it up. But because I wasn't in the the right place, just gonna cut off half of the threads that were in the aluminium here. Now I'm gonna try it here. If not, I'm gonna just have to drill it out and put in one of these. But so got that drilled out now, and I need to see if I can tap it or if I have to drill it out and tap it for a heel coil. And those threads up here at least looks pretty perfect. Kind of loose, but whatever. And it didn't look like they did over here when I tapped it the first time, because that was just absolute shit. That was just, yeah. If I had pulled that bolt tight, I probably just pulled the bolt up because it was hardly any threads in there. It's kind of hard to see, especially on the camera there because it's all shiny, but yeah, it wouldn't have worked. Or maybe it would have. You probably doesn't need to pull them that tight, but not for these. These you want tight. And I feel really good with that, so let's do the exact same thing on the other one. And then we can install some heel coils. So I've been taking a pretty good look at that. And yeah, in the camera it looks probably quite perfect, but it's not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drill that out and put a heel coil in there. Those threads are absolutely perfect, like new. So that turned out perfect, the first one. The second one, I think the bolt kind of spun in there, and that's what, and then it just ruined the threads, and I don't really know, but like half of it is good and the other half is kind of crap. On this side, still doesn't look, but I think half of it is about good. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put a heel coil in there too, and then I also have to do that one. But I'm gonna spare you that because I'm sure you've seen plenty enough drilling. So there we go, got that thing drilled out a little bigger. And that one, which I kind of messed up, because really you should drill, or I should say I tested to not drill a hole for the center of the bolt first, just a small hole. And well, as you can see, maybe it's a lot bigger at the top, and it's the same drill bit, so it really just eats into the side of the material on the, yeah, it eats into the aluminium here because it's a lot softer. So, and then, but I got plenty enough, so I just drilled a hole for the center, and then drilled a bigger hole, and that worked perfectly. So definitely drill a small hole for the center of the bolt, and then a bigger hole. It's not just going to go to the side, because now it follows that small hole in the middle of the bolt. So definitely do that. Try to be a little quick, but it didn't work. So yeah, definitely don't do that. I would just ruin it. And now we can install some helium coils here. We got some helium coils here that should be stainless. I don't know what they are, but these should at least be stainless here, so they ain't gonna rust. And then we got some grease fittings, maybe I said that, and a small helium coil. This is really quite easy to do, especially when you have some fancy tools. Oh, ain't particularly fancy maybe, but they work. So I'm gonna just put a little bit of Loctite on these. and I just cleaned all these holes up with some brake cleaner before here. I cleaned the whole part actually with brake cleaner first. It should just be to screw this thing in. I'm gonna screw it quite far because at the top it was just a hole. I have no idea what had happened, but it's stuck. Oh, there we go. That should be good, I think. And then you just take this little punch, and then you just hit this little tab off at the bottom. You just, yeah, it's actually just to push it. I don't know if I can get that thing out now. There we go. There is that little piece, and that is just for screwing it in. So that is one done. Just a few to go. And I don't know if you should put Loctite on these or not, but I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. It will just be a little more secure, I hope. And well, you just get one try of getting these in the right way because you can't screw them out. I have screwed them in. It's no coming out. Screwing it out at least. There we go. That is two. Well, I'm gonna just push that off. But this hole here is kind of a little tricky. This thing, it might be enough to just have this much of thread going into the aluminium, but I'm kind of scared if I get this bolt real tight, I just pull it out because the aluminium is pretty soft. So I'm gonna try to do is to put two of these in here. And I can't do that because we bought 4, but I just have 3 holes to fill, so I have 1 more, or 3 holes to put helicoils in. So I'm going to screw this one all the way to the bottom. Leave this tab on because you have to line it up. You know, you can't have it. You have to line the threads up, kind of. So I'm not sure, but I'm gonna screw the bottom one down, screw the top one down all the way, and then take the tab off of this one, test it with the screw it down, and if it works, I think it will, but if not, I can just continue twisting this bottom one further down till it lines up, if that made any sense. Gonna make sure to not screw too far. There we go, there you can see the little tab there, and now I'm gonna get the other one screwed in here on the top, and hope I doesn't regret putting 2 of these in here. Oops. Yeah, I might do it, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. I should screw it in because I can't get it out. Well, I suppose I could continue screwing this one from the bottom in here a little more. I want the other one in a little further, and then I can just take this off a little. That is out. See if the threads line up. And oh yes, they sure do. That is pretty good. Look at that. The bolt, you can see, is all the way through. So just screw this thing out of here. Just get this one installed too. There we go. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to cut that thing off. Let's see if one of these can cut this thing. There we go. There we go. That should be good. Let's cut the thing right there. I think that should be pretty good. Oh, yeah. So now I have made these bushings and I need some grease in them. And you think, oh, it's a grease sitting there, but that's not gonna work because it's a groove in there that goes below where the bushing is. So the grease actually goes into the middle here between these bushings. Like that, it goes into the middle here. And then it pushes out through the inside of these bushings out. But I don't want to do it that way. So I made a little groove in here. And I want to get the grease straight into the middle of the bushing and push out. That's what I like better. So I've got 2 stainless steel grease fittings here. And I'm going to install one like right there and one right there. They probably should have been 90 degrees, but well, now I have these, so whatever. Yeah, so I'm just gonna install this one. Yeah, and then I'm gonna drill a hole for the bushing so it pushes out in this groove and then, you know, pushes out around the shafts all the way around and everything. Like right there, I think. When you're installing helicoils, I think it's just to screw as many as you want on top of each other if you have a long hole. I think they automatically lines up, so you don't have to do like I thought to do, that you needed to actually line them up. I can't say, I don't know it, but I think they actually have made them so you can just stack multiple on top of each other, and it should be good. At least I just screwed it down tight against the other one and it was perfect, so I think you probably thought about that. But I don't know, no. That's one hole there. Actually, I'm not going to install it. I'm going to install these bushings. And I'm going to just drill a hole straight through there. And then install it. So then the hole is in a perfect place, I think. That is 2 holes with 2 grease fittings. That's pretty perfect, I think. So I'm going to start here by installing these bushings that I made. And I know it's no hole for the grease to get in because I thought to hammer these in. And then I'm just going to drill a hole straight through there and then it will line up perfectly. So then I don't have to care about if it will line up or not. I don't know if that's smart or not, but that's what I'm going to do. This is grease that does not get dissolved in water, or it shouldn't at least. I'm just going to coat the outside here to get it to slide in a little easier. Hopefully at least. It won't hurt anything. I just hope it fits now. think that is in as far down as it will go. Nothing fit there really good, I think. And I'm gonna put this little piece in here, just a little piece of metal. I don't know if it will work still, but it's a screw here that you can screw in on this piece of metal that you kind of pushes this, kind of compresses this bushing so it gets tighter on the shaft, so you just can't steer, you know. It goes like this. It is a little bit of resistance to it when you're steering, if that made any sense. Like that. Now it should just be to the other side, which is a little different. The bushing is a little different. Yeah, you see this little, yeah, whatever. It was put a seal out here, which we had to buy a seal, and we didn't bother order just one seal, so we didn't really see the point of it either. So yeah, I just made the bushing a little longer, and so it would fill up that space there, and well, I think it should be plenty good enough without the seal there. It's supposed is to keep water from getting in, but when the water is in, it can't get out either, so and it is stuck in there. So I don't know. Maybe it should be, maybe it's not necessary, I don't know. No, we don't have it either way. This one, I think I made it a little too small, but I don't know why it doesn't go in, but I suppose I just made it a little too long. Now this thing, I know it's the wrong. Okay, well, this is no good. This thing doesn't fit in there. That's not really what I wanted to see. I think I made this a little too tight. Yeah, this was not what I was, this is not what I wanted to happen. I thought it was a good fit, but I suppose if it's a little press fit, I suppose it does get, the ID also gets smaller. Then if it may be too tight. And here it is oval, which is not great, I suppose, because it doesn't have any support on this side, which I think is a bit stupid design to have this, but I don't know. I think I have a fix for this. You just hammer the bushing out a little again. Let's see if it gets a little looser. Ooh yeah, that is perfect. It's just the top. I didn't make that thing just a hair larger than this one. I should have made it the same, because now this thing is pretty well perfect. And the problem is, I think, is that this, when I hammered it in, I hammered it pretty hard, so I think it just kind of, went straight all the way, and then the edge is not a 90-degree edge it's put against. It is more like this, like 45. So you kind of just, because it's corroded away, just corroded away this corner here. So it's, kind of get this, get pushed in, so it got tight at the end here, like the last tiny little bit, but just too tight. If that made even any sense, but the top is still tight though. So I just ended up starting to think about this thing where it's tight. You can see this mark right there. That is because it's in too long, I think. So I'm just gonna go over to the belt grinder and just grind this down. So I just clean this up here, gonna get a little more grease on here, and let's see if it works now. Oh yeah. Hope it works now. How? Ooh yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. And then a little snug up there. I think that is perfect, I think. That is, yeah, that is great. Gonna mount this here with a couple little screws, so let's drill some holes in this. So it doesn't get a perfect countersink, but it works using a drill bit like that. So flush right there. There, and that's why I wanted the bushing in there, so I can get this thing centered. And then I'm just gonna take, well, I suppose I can't really get down there, but I'm just gonna use a 4mm drill bit. Gonna get this thing in the right place. So I think that'll work. And then I'm gonna use not a 4mm, because then I can't tape the threads in the hole, obviously. An M4 thread and thread it here, and just to hope that it's in the right place now, because now I can't move it. I think that'll work. I think that is okay. That is. That's a little bit, so he's not gonna rub against that anywhere. Now this thing should fit here perfectly. Pretty good there. I'm really happy with that. So let's go ahead and drill some holes through here for the bushings, I should say, so the grease can get into the bushings, because now it's no hole. Little burr here on the inside, but that doesn't matter. I can get these screwed in here. Oh, oh yeah. There we go. Thing is tight. There we go. Put a little grease in here. And also, oh yeah, everything should be good now. Everything should fit. No, and grease in there. And clean that up. Should just get this thing in here. It's heavy. Going, because it's also these bushings, the holes here, they could be a little like that, so the piece, you know, and it is gonna go heavy, but Well, it's not too bad. I mean, it is a little tighter than I like, but I don't really think I mean, I could have made a little more clearance, but put it the wrong way or something. It's hitting here, this washer that I made. That's dumb. So I got this fixed up here, so now it's not hitting on the washer up there anymore. And I made it go easy too. Now it turns a lot easier, I should say. That's the right word. And what I did was, on this top bushing, I figured out it was just hitting on the inside here a little. So I just took the die grinder and just pulled it like 2 times or something like that, just to take off, you know, just a tiny bit. And now it's like perfect. It just, yeah, it's just perfect now. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here. Then I'm gonna pop these through here. I'm just gonna turn these in a bit. Not sure how much. Something like that. Just screw this one into it. Now we're going to figure out how much space it's going to be between here. So I'm just going to measure the old one here. Doesn't need to be perfect. That's about 29 millimeters. So let's make it 29 right there. I think that is, they're going to go in actually quite well right there. So yeah, actually about as far as it can go. Not really, just a hair less than that. It doesn't need to be 110% accurate, just pretty close, I think, is plenty good enough. Like that. I'm gonna install this piece. It's gonna go here. And then just gonna go hold these rubber pieces down, or rather actually hold the whole engine to, yeah. Really this that holds the whole engine. And then just hope the thread repairs work here. Seems to be able to move around in there and everything. You know, it's a little loose. Seems pretty good to me. So there we go. That piece is mounted. Yeah, this is looking good. Really good, I think. Now it's gonna be the thing that I have to mount this piece right here, like that. For that, the old one was put, or before it was put on with splines on the shaft, but I'm not gonna make splines. And I bored that out and everything. So what I'm gonna do, quick, easy, simple. I'm just gonna take a bolt and put that right through there. Just gonna put a bolt in, but then I have to line this up so it is parallel, maybe that's the word, with this piece here. You know, it can't be put like this or the other way. Obviously not that much, but it has to be pretty exact. So what I was thinking is this piece, I should be able to put this together here, not permanently. I'm just gonna take a bolt. Yeah, that seems to be long enough, or the threads are going down far enough. Gonna take that, snug that up right there. To see if this would work. And that should be all good right there. So now I'm just gonna put in some boards here. Now that's not lining up. Here, I want just to put these bolts in there. It's gonna go into that piece, and then I'm just gonna clamp that down, tighten those up, just drill a hole for there, and it should be all good. But it doesn't line up, so this thing too high up. So I'm gonna start with putting the gasket in here, just a couple small little pieces, because it should go down 1/2 mil. And if that doesn't work, I have to figure out something else. No, it needs like another mil or so. Yeah, about another millimeter it needs. So we're gonna have to take this apart again. But you know what? I'm just super happy with this. Look how nice it turns now. I'm just super happy with this, how this turned out. That is just, yeah, just great. Just great. You maybe wonder, why is this thing not fitting it? Because it's a lot of things. Because that old piece, that is just super corroded, so I couldn't take really any measurements off of that. Just kind of guessed. So I think it lines up perfectly good enough for how much I measured, which is pretty much nothing. I just kind of eyeballed it. Obviously I measured, but I didn't really have, you know, 2 machine surfaces to measure off. Or, yeah, because that up there, you know, that, if you remember, that was just completely corroded away, and was just all, it looked pretty much like this does here. So I just kind of guessed how much it would go up there, and I think a millimeter is no worries that is too high up there. So really this distance between here and up there is 1 millimeter, about 1 millimeter I think, too long. So what do? You take 1 millimeter off of here. I think actually if I take that off, I think it would work, but I want to have that there, so I'm just going to take the mill and just mill 1 millimeter off of that. So I got this thing set up in the mill here with a cutter, and if you wonder if it's sharp, yeah, it's sharp. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a pass here, about 1 millimeter. I think it should be perfect then. So I had to change tool here to an end mill instead, because that other tool, the nut that was holding that on, was going too low, so it would hit here, or it was below the cutting edge. So yeah, it wasn't gonna work, so I just swapped to an end mill here. I'm just gonna take 2 or 3 passes or whatever what end up being. Now just to hope that it fits. Would you look at that? That is nice. And I did get these in here now. I think I probably should have taken off like maybe 1/2 millimeter. But honestly, I'm just gonna leave it because it's good to have, so it's no slop that way. And this thing moves really nice and freely. No, not really. That thing maybe. That thing is no problem. It's, yeah, you want a little resistance. You don't want it to just go way too easy. And I think this is, yeah, this is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, so I'm so happy with this. This is just, honestly, even better than I thought it would turn out. Really, really happy with this. This looks so nice. New grease fittings. You just have to turn the motor a little bit to get to these. That's perfect. And this is just so nice and stainless and everything. And this just turns. Ooh yeah, that is nice. So nice. Smooth now. So just to drill that hole there, and it will be perfect. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to drill it. Maybe could put it in the mill somehow. Could freehand drill it. Or maybe the drill press somehow, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that, but that'll be tomorrow. Or right now for you. Next day here, and I've been figuring a bit how to drill this, and I think best way would probably be to set it up in the mill. But in the time it takes to do that, I think I can just go ahead and freehand drill this, and it will be just plenty good enough, I think, to do that. So I've clamped it to this bench here just to hold it in place, and it seems kind of secure. So I'm just gonna punch it roughly in the middle, and then just drill through and put a bolt in, and it should be perfect. Corner of the bench here is kind of in the way for the drill, so I'm just gonna cut it off a little. This hole actually turned out really good, I think. Like, there we go. This thing turns really nice and free now. Almost it's like it's too easy maybe, but then I can just screw this bolt in here. Should make it a little snugger maybe, tighter maybe. So as you maybe already realized, that ain't gonna work with having a bolt right there, because it's gonna come down a little rod here, if you can see it, to that hole, so you can yeah, go from forward to reverse and neutral and stuff. And where does that go? Well, it goes right through here. So that ain't gonna work. And I thought, crap, what am I gonna do now? But I have a very easy solution. I'm just gonna take two 12mm bolts, cut them down, so they are, well, just gonna go in a little bit, and then I'm gonna tap this. Then I'm just gonna screw two bolts in from either way, and it's gonna be a hole for the middle. Should be perfect, I think. This bolt wasn't put here for long, but yeah, I was better realizing it now when I should go ahead and put this in. And when I put the pile of stuff together, at least, I'm like, why? I can't have that there, so I'm gonna have to take it all apart. That wouldn't be any fun. Huh. There we go. So I suppose let's drill this hole out to 10.2, and then this is just to tap it. 10.2mm. That is the perfect size for tapping for M 12. There's one. That should just be to tap this. Not what I thought it would, but honestly, I think it's turned out pretty good either way. And then I'm just gonna drill out the other piece there a little bit, so or to 12 millimeters. Just to get this thing started roughly straight. That is always a trick. At least I'm not gonna tap too far, so it doesn't matter that much, maybe. Of course, I went much smarter. Just to do the other side too. So now it's just to put this on the right way. And then I cut down 2 short little bolts here. It should end up with pretty well the inside of this tube there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of Loctite on these. Is it necessary? Probably not, but when I'm doing it, I don't want them to come out either, so just thought, just a little drop there should stop that from ever coming loose. Tight there, and hope it's all good now, because now they probably ain't coming out of there either. Oh yeah, there you can see both bolts right there. So that should be perfect now. I should be able to get that in there, and everything is good, and this is secured now. So now we can go and grease it up. And that should be greased up right there. Coming out of there, so that should be good. And it was coming out. Oops. Came out a little bit at the top here too. So that is really nice. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And I know I said that about 1,000,000 times, but I'm just so happy I can't stop saying it. Yeah, this is a lot better than I thought it would turn out. So, that is great. Turns even smoother now with a little bit of grease on it. Now that is just, now I can push it like that. Yeah, you couldn't do that before. that was, yeah, that was about this. That was just sea solid there. Yeah. Yeah, so I suppose let's get some tools and this thing and everything else outside there, and let's start putting this together. But that will come in the next video here. We got all this done in this video here. Really happy with this, and that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.